Fishing is a regulated activity, and there are regulations designed to protect, conserve, and enhance the fish populations in our state, and there are regulations that help keep our waterways clean and keep accesses open. I will discuss some basic fishing regulations in this video, and by no means is this meant to replace an angler's responsibility to review the current year's fishing summary guide. Please take time before heading out on a fishing trip to review all of the fishing regulations with a summary guide available in print or online at www.fishandboat.com. The very first regulation that all anglers should know is that anyone ages 16 or older is required to possess a Pennsylvania fishing license when fishing in Pennsylvania. Our agency provides one-year licenses and multiple-year licenses. Trout permits are also required when fishing in areas designated as stock trout waters and on certain special regulation waterways managed for trout that are identified in the PA Fishing Summary Guide. Fishing licenses fund our agency and give back to the aquatic resources of our Commonwealth. You should also know that young anglers, under the age of 16, do not need a fishing license. Now that we have covered licenses, let us discuss the three basic regulations around keeping fish: seasons, sizes, and creel limits. These regulations work together to help our agency manage the populations of fish in the streams, lakes, and rivers of Pennsylvania. Seasons. Some fish species have a season. There's a date when you can start fishing for them, and there's a date when you must stop fishing for them until the next season. Some fish can be caught year-round, while others have a closed season, which means that you can never keep them and must release them unharmed. Sometimes a season just means that's the time of the year when we can start actually possessing them, but we can catch them on a catch and release basis year-round as well. Again, please check the Pennsylvania Fishing Summary Guide to understand all of the seasons for the fish of Pennsylvania. Seasons. Some fish species have a season. There is a date when you can start fishing for them, and there is a date when you must stop fishing for them until the next season. Sometimes with seasons, we just refer to the date when you can start keeping them, and then there is a date that you must no longer keep them and must release them unharmed. Some fish can be caught and kept year-round, while others have a closed season, which means you can never keep them and must release them unharmed. Sizes. Some fish in PA have a minimum size. The fish must be at least as long as the minimum length identified in the Pennsylvania Fishing Summary in order to keep that fish. If you plan to keep fish, it is important to have some type of measuring tape in your tackle box or tackle bag to make sure the fish is of legal length. There is also a regulation called a slot limit, which means that there is a minimum and a maximum size, and the fish must be between those two lengths in order to keep it. There are some fish that do not even have a minimum size. Creel limit or daily limit. People often ask me, what is a creel? They aren't as common as they used to be for anglers. Creels are woven baskets or bags worn about the hip to keep your catch for the day. The term creel limit is used to refer to the maximum number of a type of fish or family of fish that you can keep each day. For some fish, the maximum creel limit regulation is for a specific species, like a northern pike. For other fish, they're grouped together into one daily limit, such as the category that has sunfish, yellow perch, white perch, crappies, catfish, rock bass, suckers, carp, white bass, bowfin, and other game fish not otherwise listed are lumped into one daily limit category where you can keep 50 of all those species combined. Aside from regulations of the fish, there are also regulations on the equipment an angler can use. For example, there are some waters where an angler can only use fly fishing equipment. There is a maximum number of fishing lines that an individual angler can have out. There are also regulations to protect our waterways and respect landowners who allow fishing on their properties. An example of this is that it is unlawful to throw, leave, discard, or deposit litter, debris, or trash of any kind in or along waters or lands along the waters of the Commonwealth. Wrapping up this regulations portion of the virtual family fishing program, please review the current year's Pennsylvania Fishing Summary Guide to check for updates to the regulations and for reminders of the current regulations that exist. Thank you for taking the time to review this portion of the family fishing program, and we'll see you on the water.